Jeff C here. It is Wednesday, October the 22nd, and you know what that means. Well, Do It Live, the Real Alternative Podcast, will be on in a very short while. It might even be on before the video gets uploaded. Well, if it is, it's 9 p.m., of course, Eastern. And if you're watching this video, you should stop and save it. You can watch it later and turn immediately to Red Pill Revolution's channel, where we will be discussing what is going on in Canada. And, of course, the Ebola whole saga as well. We have a whole great list of great Canadian truthers that will be joining us tonight, including up north of the 49th, Truth Paradigm, Police State Radio, my good buddy Greg, and many more. So we're going to be knocking this thing back. This, of course, the latest saga, the latest false flag, if you will, this happening in Canada. And wouldn't you know it, the sports network, when the sports network runs as the top story, right? When you have the TSN running the tragedy in Ottawa as their top story, well, probably tells you the fix is on, right? Because these networks are all owned by the same corporations, and they all want to program your mind. They want to convince you that terrible people are committing terrible acts, and that the only way that we can save the Canadians from those terrible people is to, you know, enact more laws, have more security, bring on the police state full force, right? So there's many reasons why they would carry something out like this. And I know a lot of people are like, hey, Jeff, why don't you say it's a hoax? It's a hoax. It's so obvious it's a hoax. Well, you know, you got to sometimes be a little bit careful, because maybe somebody did die. Maybe somebody did get hurt. And that's what a hoax means. A hoax means nobody died, nobody got hurt. So until I'm sure that nobody died, nobody got hurt, I'm going to call it what I think it is a false flag. I think this is a setup event. And I think there's a lot of evidence to support that theory. Now, I've covered so much of what has been going on, showing a lot of the different angles of this whole event. And there's a whole ton of photos here that came off the corporate media. This is actually CTV here. Parliament ministers snapping photos to tweet to the public to convince them something terrible has gone down. Of course, the Corolla here, which just happened to be green in the other video, if I'm not mistaken, but it doesn't matter, right? The corporate media never has to worry about reporting events accurately. They have no sort of credibility whatsoever, but let's not tell the sheeple that, because they still buy it. Now, of course, you showed police running down, I believe this is the pedestrian mall of Spark Street in Ottawa, terrorizing people with their dogs and such. Of course, they got to make the city safe, right? So they got to run down. The grope and fail here, of course, just happened to have the reporter that caught the live footage of the shootout. Of course, couldn't really make out much, but nonetheless, the reporter didn't seem to be too concerned about his safety. So, well, what are you going to take from that? Well, it looks like it was set up there, and all these different images, they really terrorized the city. They shut down most of the downtown core. Apparently, schools were in lockdown, universities were in lockdown, everybody was in a lockdown. Lockdown, we got a fake shooting happening. Well, I don't know if it's fake, I don't know if anybody died for sure, but they sure know how to sell it to you by showing you all these images of police pulling out their revolvers, going into buildings. I even saw a few police smiling away as they were running towards this supposed suspect. I guess some of them knew it was a game, but nonetheless, some of the images that came out today from Ottawa. Here's police. I guess they're going to be screaming at people, most likely. Move back. Yeah, there you go. Move back. Move back. Move back, right? By the building. Move back. Terrible things happen. One of the funny anecdotes that I picked up was that apparently the Conservative Party stacked a bunch of chairs up the door. I guess is what they're showing. But in the National Democratic Party, the NDP, they stack tables. They can't even get along when it comes to these things, right? But maybe that's some sort of coding that they're sending us. So yeah, there's Ottawa, the Parliament buildings, and the police tape to remind you that something terrible has happened. And oh, wouldn't you know it, they already got the slogan. There you go, Ottawa strong. Yeah, sounds familiar. Remember that thing? What was it? Boston? There was a firecracker that went off. Yeah, Boston strong. Yeah. And there was Moncton Spirit. Remember that one? Yeah, they always got the hashtag and they got the maple leaf and it's all done. Yeah, convince you that something terrible has happened. And here they are in the Parliament buildings running through, going through the SWAT team with everyone. And people left their drinks and stuff and just got up and ran for cover. And there's the Parliament buildings in the background, Chateau Laurier, right? And people and press just standing there like lemmings, buying the whole thing. Now, as I said, I'm not sure if anybody really died or what, but I'm very suspicious. I think this has all the hallmarks of a false flag. Now, this, of course, is the guy that did it. He is Islamic media. It was his tweet. Apparently, they've shut down his Twitter. He had a total of one photo of himself. I think that's the only photo that you'll find of him anywhere on the internet, right? And this guy's name, of course, is Michael Zehaf Bibeau, right? Michael Zehaf Bibeau. And I think the Zehaf was the half that they added when they wanted to make him look like a radical sort of turned Islamic terrorist. And he's part, of course, of, well, they haven't come out and officially announced it, but he's most likely on that list of 90 Canadians that are deeply or being closely watched by the RCMP, including this guy who just carried out an attack just the other day, just outside of Montreal. Go figure. Yes, and he's got the beard and it all, and he ran over a couple soldiers, right? His soldier Patrice Vincent died on Canadian soil in an apparent act of homegrown terrorism. How we've been talking about that, homegrown terrorists, domestic terrorists, they're the next ones. We're the next ones, because anybody who talks conspiracies or counteracts or questions anything the government or the corporate media puts out as fact is automatically one of the most dangerous people in the world. And if you don't believe me, go listen to David Cameron's speech. You can see it on my channel there. Just do a search. He lays it out, calling 9/11 truthers the same as ISIS extremists, right? That behead people or fake behead people. But so this event just happened the other day, just outside of Montreal, and wouldn't you know it, he was on the list and they were watching him, but maybe they didn't act quick enough. And then today, of course, you've got this guy, and it's the same old thing. It's another guy, another French guy who now all of a sudden is an Islamic terrorist, homegrown. There's no history of him other than, yes, of course, he has a criminal history, right? They'll say here he has a criminal history. Here's Heavy. This is a funny website here, Heavy. They're kind of like Snopes or something, some bullshit site that's there to give you a little bit extra programming, give you the 5 fast facts that you need to know about Michael Zehaf Bibeau. Well, let's take a look at them quickly here. 32-year-old man, right, who recently converted to Islam, shot and killed Canadian soldier standing guard near the War Memorial in Ottawa, then traveled to the nearby Canadian Parliament where he opened fire before being fatally shot by the Sergeant-at-Arms, right, that Vickers guy, right, Kevin Vickers, yeah, just happened to be the Sergeant-at-Arms, just killed him. I guess he's pretty heroic, is he not? I guess he's a hero, wouldn't you know it? Yeah, so then he traveled there, and then he's shot by Heroic Actions. Look, they even have a page. Do they already have a page? Yes, they do. Kevin Vickers, 5 fast facts you need to know. You need the heavy fucking bullshit to settle your stomach and to let you know exactly what has happened. But I'm not here to look at Mr. Vickers. Let's look at our Zehaf guy here. Yeah, so just after Bibeau's name was reported, right? The Twitter account posted above picture claiming it was the Ottawa shooter, and then an hour later the account was suspended. Military Studies, whatever the hell that is, told Heavy.com that the same Twitter account was followed by Martin Couture Rouleau, wouldn't you know it? Yes, this guy, of course, the Quebec shooter guy that I just showed you. I mean, you can't make this shit up, folks. You can't fucking make it up. They think that you're dumb enough to believe it, but, you know, and of course he's a recent convert of Islam and told a 911 operator that he performed the act in the name of Allah. Of course, right? CBS quoted news U.S. officials when reported Bibeau's name. CNN and other outlets reported earlier that Canadian officials had shared the name with the FBI. According to New York Times, the U.S. government has no record of Bibeau's behavior. Oh, well, they just need to get their books straightened here. Bibeau recently had his passport seized, just like the other Canadian soldier, right? With the Islamic beard and the finger pointing. He's coming for you. They're coming for you, folks. Martin Couture Rouleau, like Bibeau, had his passport seized before killing a Canadian soldier. So they're saying, well, look, we seized these guys' passports because we thought they were dangerous, and guess what? We were right. If only we had acted quicker, if only we had paid attention to their online rantings, if only we had seen that they listened to this conspiracy theorist and that one. Hey, they might even subscribe to Free Radio Revolution. By the end of the day, I would not be surprised, but you folks need to watch out for me because I have a feeling they're coming soon. Sources told the Globe and Mail that he had recently designated a high-risk traveler by the Canadian government, that his passport had been seized. The same circumstances surrounding the case of Martin Rouleau Couture, the Quebecer who was shot on Monday. Of course, right? He has a long criminal record. He has no record on Facebook, and he's done all these things, and marijuana and PCP, 60 days in jail, assault or whatever. He fell off the map for a few years. I guess he got a visit from the RCMP. Maybe they roughed him up a bit, scared him, said, hey, you know what? We got a job for you. We got a job for you, buddy. We know what you can do, right? And the Vancouver Sun. Okay, so according to CBS, his name was, well, we already said that, Michael Abdul Zehaf Bibeau. He's got a long name. They love to have these long names. Then sometimes they'll say Michael Bibeau, and then they'll say Michael Zehaf Bibeau, then they'll say Michael Abdul Bibeau, then they'll say Abdul Zehaf Bibeau, and then it's Abdul Bibeau, then it's Abdul Zehaf, right? It don't matter if you're the corporate media, you just want to play with people all the fucking time. So he sometimes dropped the Michael and went, yeah, there, as I said, right? The Vancouver Sun reported that Bibeau was arrested in British Columbia in 2011 for assault and robbery. The Sun says that the case went by the name of Michael Joseph Paul Zehaf Bibeau. Now he's got 5 names. Oh my God, right? Yeah, the robbery happened in December of 2011. According to global news reports, Bibeau was arrested in Vancouver. And this is the guy, apparently, that he killed. Nathan Cirillo has been named the slain person. And there's the hero. You can't make this shit up. Just happened to be the sergeant at arms. So, you know, I don't know, folks. This is totally scripted by me. And the fact that they can connect this to the other guy, that the Couture Rouleau guy, right away, right? The fact that they're on this list, the fact that they both had their passports just recently. And then should we mention our good friend David Cameron, the psychopathic New World Order Prime Minister of Great Britain, coming out saying that the fight against extremism starts at home. And it starts at home, and it starts against the 9/11 truthers, the people that question 7/7. The writing's on the wall, folks. They're coming for us. So now's the time to bang the drums louder than ever and really watch each other's backs. Anything happens to me, you guys are the only thing that's going to be there to save me. So thank you so much for listening. Please leave your comments below and subscribe if you haven't already, and I wish you a wonderful day. And don't forget to tune in to We'll Do It Live. That'll be on in, just over half an hour. Thank you so much for listening.